So the 25-year-old Swedish driver Linus Lundqvist, who was an Indy Next champion, got his big break late last year and got the drive of his life to join Chip Ganassi Racing. He starts alongside Colton Herta, who loves this place and has been running really well. They crest the hill to see the green flag, and the XPEL Grand Prix here at Road America is away. Linus Lundqvist in that blue and white American Legion Honda leads the field. His teammate Marcus Armstrong in the green car tucks in behind, and here around the outside comes Kyle Kirkwood. Oh no! Linus Lundqvist has spun, and so too has Armstrong.
I believe Marcus Armstrong in that green Ridgeline Honda, teammates to Linus Lundqvist. I think the nose of Armstrong got into the back of the pole sitter Lundqvist gearbox, and that's a disaster for that race team, Chip Ganassi.
Oh my goodness. And the caution is out on lap 1.
He just gets in a little too deep.
Oh, he did hit him.
Now, in fairness to Armstrong, Lundqvist did have a pretty big wiggle at the apex. The back of his car stepped out, and I think that probably surprised Marcus Armstrong. We'll see from another angle here. And then further back, Colton Herta with nowhere to go.
And who was that went off there on the side there? Ah, that's Graham Rahal in the Hendrickson Honda. Here it is from a different angle.
Poor Colton Herta at this point's going, no. I've got one of the fastest cars. Oh, Colton got hit from behind by Joseph Newgarden, it looked like, as he checked up.
This opening lap caution is over, and we go back to racing here at Road America in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, with Kyle Kirkwood leading Scotty Mack. Scott McLaughlin, watch that yellow XPEL Chevy, pulls out of the draft as they head to turn 1. It's Kirkwood and McLaughlin with Scotty Mack taking the lead.
What a forceful run up the hill. Kirkwood had a bit of an oversteer moment, losing rear traction coming off that final corner to the flag, but further back, look at this. How about Christian Rasmussen on Kiffin Simpson? Simpson closes the door.
Rasmussen, the aggressive one on the Indy 500 circuit. Now he was bringing that aggression here to lap 1 of this restart. And Dixon now popping out on Newgarden.
Look at this, down into the brake zone for turn 5. Newgarden's going to have the better line, and Will Power comes from nowhere to almost jump up the inside of Scott Dixon.
Oh, it was subtle, but a pretty bold move by Newgarden pushing. What kind of lap times can he do? As the caution's out for something, somewhere.
Debris apparently from race control. There it is.
We understand might have come off the 26 car of Colton Herta. He's wide on the rumble strips, and look at the violent shake of the race car as the diffuser strakes come blowing off the floor of the Gainbridge Honda. So this caution does help, Marty. Good point.
All right, here we go. Through the 14th and final turn, coming to the green flag. McLaughlin was able to draft up on Kirkwood on the previous exchange. Let's see if Kirkwood's close enough to return the favor, cresting the hill. Dixon looks racy as well. That light blue and white car, third, fourth in shot, pulls out of the draft. That's Joseph Newgarden up the inside. Great move into turn 1.
Squeezing Alex Rossi all the way on the entry there. Surprised Rossi didn't defend it all going into 1. Looks like these Chevys, these Penske's are very quick in a straight line. Of course, this is one of those tracks where you can trim the car out for that straight line speed more than others, so maybe some different levels of downforce in play here.
Here they are, wheel to wheel, Grosjean, Lundgaard, and in the background is Kiffin Simpson, the rookie for Chip Ganassi Racing, waiting to pounce, and he does. Nice move.
Making use of his best ever career IndyCar qualifying. The driver, the number 4 there, the blue and orange car, as trouble in the back for Felix Rosenquist, I believe, off track here on the Arctic Wolf on board. He drops all the way to the tail end.
No, up the inside.
Stingray rolled up the inside.
Yeah, I mean, Stingray just misses the corner completely. Just forced him off. He was dropping wheels on his own. Just completely outbroke himself.
It's one thing to stay side by side with somebody and kind of run out of room at the exit, but Rosenquist forced off. That will certainly go to race control for review. It's a hot Kiffin Simpson, guys, just crashed over in Canada corner.
Whoa.
Big off.
He's had one of his best weekends in his young IndyCar career, but it's all come to a crunching halt. They certainly do.
Overly aggressive moves all race long so far from Rasmussen.
So how hard does Kiffin Simpson get into the wall or the tire barrier? Unfortunately, that's concrete. That's a big hit. That's going to, oh yeah, he's done. I didn't see the left front got all torn up.
So did the left rear. Yeah, defensive line there from Kiffin. He's got every right to do it. Absolutely a penalty coming for Rasmussen, I would imagine.
Let's see who makes the early moves. Good restart, Scott McLaughlin. He's on it straight away. Kirkwood will try and stay closer than he did on the previous restart. He couldn't make any ground on McLaughlin. Out of turn 14, here we go, up the hill, and let's get into a racing rhythm.
Boy, Scotty Mack looks untouchable on restarts so far, getting terrific runs on the opening few corners. Meanwhile, Kirkwood has to defend again to Team Penske teammate for McLaughlin, Joseph Newgarden, who looks to the outside.
Primary tires on Kirkwood, alternates on Newgarden. You think advantage on the restart's going to go to Joseph in that blue and white PPG Chevy, but Kirkwood doing a great job through 3, getting a good launch down here. No pressure right now.
I'm already seeing some pretty big wiggles, though, from the PPG driver of Newgarden. I wonder if the red tires have just tipped over the edge. We'll find out at the end of this first lap.
Rossi again having to defend against Scott Dixon. Will Power's getting in the story right on the inside of Dixon into 5.
He tried that earlier, and here comes Grosjean around the outside. Great restart from Romain Grosjean. He's mixing it up with Alex Palou, that Homco's Hollinger, the green and black machine.
Get off was working essentially. They're in the same strategy as everyone else and cycled up to 5th, but he still needed to do an alternate set. So he's back on the Firestone alternates.
Oh, look at this, Kevy, the teammates. McLaughlin on Newgarden. McLaughlin at speed. He pitted a lap earlier.
But
and Newgarden coming out, but he's put himself in a great position.
Newgarden did a great job on that in-lap to close the gap. Remember, he was running pretty close there with Kirkwood, but Newgarden making up time on the reds. He'll still have to build some tire temp, but impressive.
You can sometimes get caught out and lose a spot. I'm loving what I'm seeing.
Into the kink. That is dicey as Dixon's going to get freight trained here.
He's got a flat. I think he's got a flat tire to Scott Dixon. He's going very slowly.
He's on the softer red compound, and you're right. I think the left rear, maybe not, or maybe it's just coming apart on balance. No, his tire pressure looks okay. And he's in a handling hole right now. Under attack everywhere. That's Grosjean again, making moves into turn 6.
You can see the left rear on that onboard. It's got that discoloration on the inside of the shoulder there.
Oh, and he almost goes again.
What was that?
Does that give Will Power an opportunity to attack?
How did that happen?
He just lost focus. You mentioned it earlier in the show. The straights here, they're not straight, Townsend. He was looking down maybe at his dash. He had just come off, pushed a pass. So close as the leader Palou now. 1 lap longer once again into the pits, Marty.
An opportunity for this young guy to show what he can do behind the wheel of an IndyCar. This is the young man who missed the Indianapolis 500. There were 34 cars for 33 spots. It was the toughest day of young Nolan Siegel's career. And look at this for the lead of the race. Teammate on teammate. Inside at turn 1, Joseph Newgarden has got Scott Dixon.
So this was what we were speculating. How much is McLaughlin going to have to hold back to protect his Firestone alternates? The answer is quite a bit, because Newgarden is head down to the front and gone.
McLaughlin 6.2 for the Tasty Twos.
Clear.
Oh,
wow.
Look at that.
Joseph Newgarden with a monster gap. Now his tires are cold, so the gap will close pretty quickly, but not that much, James. That is domination.
That was incredibly impressive from the 2 crew on pit lane. Joseph doing his job as well, getting down from
Will's gonna have to pit.
From 100 and something to 90 miles an hour for the first stage of pit lane speed, then from 90 miles an hour down to 45. All of that counts in to that time lost on pit. The driver plays a big part in it.
Push your lap here, bud.
Here we go. Push on the outlap. Newgarden's cresting the hill. Is this going to work for Will Power? Have a look at this. The Verizon Chevy leapfrogs not only McLaughlin, but Joseph Newgarden as well.
The overcut is the move, guys. Joseph went a lap longer than McLaughlin, extended that gap, then Power a lap longer than Joseph, and look at that. That is a nice, healthy gap. Even with the cold tires, he's got to get up to temp.
It's been 34 races since Will Power has won.
You just never know.
And you just never know with 5 laps to go at Road America. Listen, if you're Will Power right now, you're out by yourself. Your handling of the race car is beautiful. It gives you time to think about worst case scenario. We know that's how Will Power thinks. How about the marbles? Where does all that Firestone rubber go? All offline. And that's what could cause a last second yellow, is deep in the field. Maybe a little score that tries to get settled in the closing laps. That's the worry for the Verizon team right now. They do not want to have to battle for a restart here.
Been a long wait for those guys. Hey, Kevin Lee, any Flavor Flav sightings?
With 2 to go, Will Power hanging on, fingers crossed.
Doing everything he needs to do, eking that lead out over teammate Joseph Newgarden. Clean air is king. He's just controlling the pace nicely. And looking back down through that, just seeing Herta there kind of made me think, you know, look at it again. Think of where he was after the first lap. Think about where he was after all those caution periods that we had. Those were all in the first few laps of the race. His teammate, Kyle Kirkwood, inherited the lead after that mess in the first corner. After all the yellows, where Colton was at the back. He's now only 3 seconds behind Kyle at a top 5. The comeback.
And a two-year drought will be ended at the end of this final lap.
And that last lap, no softy, a 1:44.5 from Will Power, putting a stamp on things here today. Newgarden and McLaughlin, 45.1 and a 45.4 respectively. So he's going to do it with grit, determination, and pushing the limits all the way to the end.
Just to underscore how much this victory is going to mean to Will Power, he went 16 consecutive seasons with at least 1 win. And then you go winless last year? He's like, what's going on? I got to get back to the winner's circle. And then already through 6 races this year, it didn't come. And that's been a point of frustration. However, his consistency has been amazing.
He's had a couple podium finishes, finished second on a few times as well, and he kept saying, man, I'm so sick and tired of finishing second. But when you keep putting yourself in that position, you keep running up front, having those mistake-free races, eventually the brakes are going to fall your way, and this was not anything falling his way. This one was earned throughout the entire race, and a great final pit cycle, saving the fuel when he need to and putting on the power when it called for it.
And at the same time for Team Penske, a few corners away from a 1-2-3 finish diff. It's been a long time since they had that.
2017 Sonoma was the last. Team Penske 1, 2, 3. Simon Pagenaud, Joseph Newgarden, and Will Power. But today, here at Road America, the XPEL Grand Prix is all about Will Power. Power ends a 2-year winless drought by winning here.
Congrats. Finally.
Finally.
Boys, that didn't take long. Oh, man. There you go. Well-deserved win. We have to fight for all of them. Guys deserve that. Feel great that we finally win a race.
That is career win number 42. That moves Will Power into a tie for 4th all-time with Michael Andretti.
Hi folks, Lee Diffie from NBC Sports here. If you truly enjoyed what you just watched, you can get more news, interviews, and highlights by subscribing to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube page. You can get it all, so go for it.